District Board of Directors. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And roll call, please.
Rita Eckerman,
Here.
Kim Grady,
Present.
Dave Brooks,
Present.
Kevin Battle,
Here.
Peter Carroll, and
Absent.
there is a quorum
Okay. I have a motion to approve the minutes of August 20th, 2020.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Citizen participation. Seeing none. Move on to staff presentations.
For August 2020, we responded to 97 calls for service. Comparing that to 2019, that's a 13 call increase over the month of August. Let's see. Year to date, at the end of August, was 690 calls as compared to 593 in 2019.
That's a calendar year, right?
Yeah, yes, the year-to-date, the first 8 months of the year was 690 in 2020 versus 593 in 2019. Yeah, we track our runs by calendar year as opposed to fiscal year. Of those calls, 55 were medical related, 19 fires related, 14 lift assists, 3 motor vehicle crashes, 3 water or surf rescues, and 3 other types of calls.
Okay. Volunteer report?
Volunteers are doing very well. We have, the chief will get further into it, but we have essentially 9 new volunteers that have placed applications in the queue. Out of those 9, 7 have been interviewed, and 2 are waiting to be interviewed. When there's fire, people will come. Chief will talk a little bit more about what's happened the last couple of weeks. My preference of this is our staff has done awesome, but our volunteers have come, and they're available, and they're ready to go. And they've been working hard with the training, and we need a lot more of them than we have right now, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's great.
You know, I listen to all the calls. I'm a junkie. And I'm just totally impressed with the responses we get. You know, staff does a great job, like you said, but the volunteers that respond to every call or come to cover the station, you know, we didn't have that 3 years ago. So you guys have done a great job.
Everybody stepped up. I mean, we can be in a mutual aid call, whether it's in North Lincoln, which we're going to discuss on fires, or fires in Newport, and then have additional calls here that we get apparatus out on, and then still have people coming to stand by at the station. So it's a good problem to have.
Very impressive.
So yeah, shout out to all the staff for really jumping in and helping out.
Okay, financial.
We finished the month of August with $716,962 in the bank, reserved at unreserved, restricted and unrestricted. So we're fine. We should get to November just fine.
Good.
Without any problems. Vehicle repairs, as we've spoken about before, continue to run a little bit high. $529 for July and August alone, and through the end of, well, to today, September 17th, 14,275. So the trend is starting to move down a little, but it's pretty early in the year,
Yeah,
so we don't really know yet.
running out of things to
Fingers
fix.
crossed.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's really not much, there hasn't been much, there aren't a lot of bills this month that you have noticed. It's a little bit less than usual. Nothing of any really, noticeable sticks out. Routines.
Any board questions?
Oh, we were gonna ask about, what was the big expense to 10 Mile? It looked like some fancy lock or something like that. What's going on with that?
Oh, if the board recalls, 2 years ago or so, we added locks upriver to the stations, replaced, put locks on the side door so we can program and issue codes instead of everybody having the same code. Offers a little more security for the building. And then if someone leaves, then we just delete that code. And the most recent one, we added one to the west door of the station. That's never had one on it, so.
Gotcha.
And then he also reprogrammed because we were out of combination, so we had to go to each station and reprogram and then update those.
So our access codes are still the same?
Yeah, your code is still the same. What he had done, he'd give me a whole list of them, and then I write it down, Dave Brooks, okay, here's your number, give your number, and thought we had plenty of them, but now the more volunteers we're getting, then we go through them pretty quick, and then I can't reuse one that we've deleted.
Right. Okay.
And then part of that too, they're supposed to have 5-year batteries in each of those that maintains the memory, and while Alan was there, he changed those and just to make sure they're fresh.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the finance report?
So move.
Second. Okay, moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills.
I make a motion that we pay the bills.
I'll
Second.
Oh,
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any correspondence, chief?
Other than what I handed out,
Okay.
and one of them was from the American Red Cross. I received an email from them. As the board's aware, we graciously host blood drives, and even if they have a cancellation somewhere else, they said, Chief, are you guys able to do it? Absolutely. They use our training room for their check-in part, and then they park in the City Hall parking lot with their bus. And then they send me an email just telling me how many they actually collected. On September 5th, their goal was 21 units, and they actually collected 25 units. And they will take walk-ins, but you have to get on a waiting list. So they're encouraging everybody to register online, which go to Red Cross website, and then you can register for whatever blood drive there is. But it's nice. We appreciate our partnership with the Red Cross. And they're also the ones that another portion of the Red Cross supplies our free smoke detectors for our smoke detector and fire prevention program.
Chief, just a note, during our time of all these fires, we had a plethora, you can ask all of our staff here, we gained a few pounds. I tried to not eat any of it, but I ate. Their food kept coming every day. We had people bring in, and it wasn't healthy food.
It was good food.
Well,
comfort
I can't say
food.
that these guys made it thought it was healthy food, but it was definitely, I mean, we had more cakes and candies.
And nothing on a low-carb diet.
Not on a low carb diet, but definitely the citizens they were coming every day.
That's cool.
That is.
I heard about one about the free pizza for life, so.
I haven't heard of it. I haven't seen the piece of paper that tells we can use it.
My name's Chief Mason. Do you remember me?
No,
I see there are a number of signature cards here that looks like everyone needs to sign.
Yes, that's, we started passing those around, the board approved to update this, Peter already made it to the bank to sign, but, we need the updated cards.
Okay, well, there's like 4 different ones here.
Oh, really?
so, Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
I signed one.
one for each account.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, we don't need to send the approved minutes around, so, there you go. Old business. Anything on Tidewater that we want to do here, or do we need to?
No, I just wanted to compliment Eric on his information that he gave us. That was excellent. And
Yeah.
it's going to be very valuable to us, so thank you.
Yeah.
And that, along the same lines, I know him and Chief Mason put a lot of work into that, and I've done some follow-up with, just to make sure the board had asked me to check with special districts. I talked to George Dunkel, who then put me in touch with Spencer Rockwell, the attorney for special districts, who then put me in touch with Christie, with our law firm that we deal with. I haven't heard back from her, but Spencer's general opinion was that the demolition part of the project and things, it would probably be okay to do what Eric and Chief Mason are proposing, but we would probably need to bid the roof portion, the trusses and the roof out.
I think the trusses at least.
Yeah, and get 3 bids on that, but said that it wasn't really in the scope of what a paid part-time employee with the district would do as the roofing part. But
Right.
as far as the demo and the things, and that's, but we just want to make sure we're crossing the Ts and dotting the Is on that, so.
Okay.
Fire apparatus maintenance and equipment condition? We need to add to that any?
No, that was on there just because we had our special meeting. When was that, Monday?
He combined
Monday.
2 packets, so I think, didn't he?
Well, I'm on the different.
Oh, you're on?
Yeah, I'm on this one, so.
But every day we're looking at what's available out there as far as good used apparatus, and we had some discussions. The board had asked us to look at maybe, what was your quote on 7201, Eric?
Without labor, just, and it's a high, I keep in mind when I put stuff together like that, even with Tidewater, I put together things really high. And I included a new communication system, I mean, basically a refurb of the major call responding components to that engine. And it came out to 42,000, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was less than 50, so.
Yeah, in part, so.
And that's transmission, engine.
Yeah, transmission, whole bunch of engine upgrades and changing all repairs, a whole new communication system with in-vehicle repeater, and I went through just basically, and all new braking system, the entire, all the brakes would be brand new, shoes, drums, airlines, treadle valve, relay valves, all sorts of, all that stuff would be replaced, so.
So we're looking at all our options to stay, keep the vehicles on the road.
Yeah. Well, we had, back when I first started, we had let's see, it was like a 63 Western States. It was our main engine, and this was in 1980. Along towards the end of the 80s, we sent it back to Western States and did the same thing. Not only had it all rebuilt, but we had the cabinets redone too to better fit the way we used it. Took off the suction lines, and because it was an in-city truck for the most part. And, spending money on them is worth it in the long run if it keeps them alive for another 20 years. When you look at
Exactly.
the cost of a new one.
Right.
And then, as we discussed, I mean, we still, in the future as far as, you know, whether it's a bond issue or whatever, you know, our working group decided, but, new apparatus would be good, but we've got to bridge that gap between now and then also we intend to keep this for at least another 10 years, so. But if you amortize that out over 10 years, that's not a lot of money.
No, when you're looking at $500,000 for a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any new business? Yeah, no?
No, I'm just,
Oh,
with everything that's going on, it's like, every day's a new business.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Okay, chief's report.
Okay, a lot of people have almost forgotten about the COVID-19 issues going on with all the wildfires, but every Wednesday we still call in for our briefing with the Oregon Department of Health and State Emergency Management on COVID-19 issues. Mondays we have our weekly staff meeting and also our meeting with regarding the intergovernmental agreement with Chief Sakaris, and I'd like to report that the IGA is working well. I did have Tim, when we signed this and approved it March something or other, Tim signed the last page, and that's Chief Mason and I took it up to Seal Rock and their board chairman, they approved it and signed the last page, and then we got to looking at it. Well, there was places, kind of like this signature card, there's places for 5 or 6 other signatures. So we have corrected that. Tim signed them today, and then I'll get that to Chief Sakaris tomorrow to get the other signatures from Seal Rock's board. But everything's going well. Seal Rock have been our partners, they're working together, responding to calls. It's just a win-win situation all the way around. And we're getting good positive feedback from the public on that. Every Monday, we've been holding our weekly drills when we can with the wildfires going on. As the board knows, we filed all the paperwork for the tax levy renewal in November. So the ballot language was, there's a limit on the number of words you can have for that, so we had to rework that several times and use a couple of abbreviations to keep the county happy and the Secretary of State happy. And then also for the voters pamphlet that comes out, so there's a little explanation in there. August 20th, called in for our monthly Fire Defense Board meeting. Obviously, the 20th, a month ago, we had our monthly Fire Board meeting. August 25th, called in for the State Fire Defense Board meetings. Then I've been in touch with Joe Parrott, who was recommended by Mr. Dunkel for fire station location, and I emailed Joe's real comprehensive report that he put together. I emailed that out to the board. You should have received it. If not, I've got copies for you. So, and that, and we might be using Joe for some other things. We already talked about it, but a shout out to our crews for helping our partners up in North Lincoln County, and they've returned home for some much needed rest. The equipment's still operational and in good shape. As Chaplain Booth talked about, you know, the crews have really stepped up, and if you look at our weekly report I send out, you know, the number of calls, and I don't know whether it's people are leaving the valley coming over here or whether, but our calls have just really increased. We received part of our turnout gear that we received a grant from the tribe on. It was ordered last May, and we just now received part of it. And it's a lightweight gear. It can be used for wildland or for vehicle extrication. And the remaining part of the gear, they said, what? November? Yeah, late October, first part of November.
Sure glad we didn't need it.
Yeah, and
Isn't
it's
this the same company that we had to wait a lifetime for the last time?
It's the same company that we had this issue once before, Kevin.
Yeah.
And the reason in the past, we had used Cascade Fire out of Medford, and they promised 60 days, and it took 6 months to get it, so okay, that's it. And so we tagged on to a Seattle Fire Department bid, and we're very happy with the gear we got, when we got it. But last time it took 6 months to get it, this time, but everybody's blaming it on COVID and wildfires, and their suppliers don't have materials, and so I don't know what excuse will come up the next time, but, so we're not real happy. They had asked me to, because it was budgeted last budget year, and the grant was last budget year, they'd asked me to go ahead and prepay it before July 1st, and I said, no. They said, we're not gonna pay for anything until we get it, because then we have no leverage at all, so. So up to this point, we paid for only the boots and gloves we received. And so then, now that we have the lightweight gear that arrived, although it did arrive with the wrong suspenders. So it's just an ongoing challenge. And that's all I got.
Alrighty.
Jamie, you have anything?
Nope, there's lots of lightning strikes just east of us, so we're monitoring.
He's got the lightning app on his phone, so.
When you say just east, do you mean in the valley or in the foothills?
I'll see
Oh, really?
right now.
Wonderful.
20 plus strikes and I'll see right now.
Dang.
Great.
Glad I'm not in Alsea.
Outside my circle. There's, apparently there's a pretty good sized T cell just running through that area right now.
And stay tuned for weather updates from.
Yeah.
Anything from our online audience? Any questions or anything?
Nope, not currently.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
I talked to Roxy at the Port of Alsea, and we're having to re-engineer or figure out this boathouse, but they are starting their project. They're closing the ramp on October 21st. And then we'll start construction on their improvements November 1st, she said. So I'm supposed to meet with her next Thursday and try to figure out what our options are. The place in Toledo, they had talked about building the boathouse, because they do that at the Port of Toledo. Because of the height of our boat, they said they don't have anything engineered that will work. So we're gonna revisit that and come up with some options. That's really all I got.
Okay. I don't have anything. Do we have anything for executive session?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, at this time, we will adjourn the regular session and go into executive session.